It might be easier for the developer and for the user, but it's no good if you can't make any money. Fortunately, we've done a lot of discussion here at AMP Conference about making money with AMP, about monetization. And I have with me here Vamsee, a PM on AMP, to talk about ads, and also header bidding, which I know is discussed a lot. What is header bidding, and now what is possible with AMP?
The primary idea with header bidding was to be able to call out to third parties so they can bid on the ad request on how much they want to pay for the impression. So traditionally, on regular web pages, header bidding is done using custom JavaScript. So you put a piece of JavaScript on top of your pages. It works because that gives sort of the publisher access to more sort of ad demand, which therefore generally tends to drive higher revenue. With AMP now, we are just announced that we have first-class support for header bidding. And we're doing it with a feature called RTC, or real-time config.
What is real-time config?
Real-time config is essentially allowing the publisher to define sort of XHR endpoints to enhance things before sending the ad request to the ad server. With AMP, the way we built RTC, unlike the traditional world, the call cannot actually be blocked by any of these third parties. So for example, even the publisher specifies, let's say, 5 endpoints, we wait about 500 milliseconds at the worst case and continue carrying on making the ad call. And therefore, we ensure that the entire lifecycle of the ad is really fast and doesn't harm the user experience on the page.
Yeah, so we've been doing header bidding in AMP for about 9 months now. We deployed in June. We saw from launch some really strong revenue results. And if we compare the amount of revenue that we were making in May to what we were making in December, we saw an increase in revenue of about 600%, which is really strong.
That's really remarkable. So why does header bidding get so much better ads that users want to click on more?
So what you're doing is you're introducing almost incremental demand to your existing ad setup. So it's less about adding more ads in and more about centralizing demand and getting more people bidding on each individual ad placement.
I'm here with Matt Jacobsen, product manager for AppNexus and for Prebid.org. And what is it that Prebid.org does?
Yeah, so Prebid.org is an open source foundation. It's really just a collaboration of a number of industry partners, and we're all looking to drive the development of independent header bidding solutions for publishers.
And you say header bidding, and we say Prebid. What is Prebid compared to header bidding?
Yeah, so this is a question that we get a lot. Header bidding is really the more general term to represent the technology of calling a number of different demand partners from the header of your page. Prebid is a specific implementation of a header bidding wrapper. Prebid Server, which is another project that the Prebid organization manages, has built support to be an AMP RTC vendor and able to provide Prebid demand via AMP RTC and AMP Fast Fetch. Essentially, all you need to do is take your existing AMP ad unit and add an RTC config attribute to that, which will specify the actual Prebid server vendor that you want to work with and a parameter which essentially just tells us to look up your demand partner configuration that you've stored with us previously.
There's been talk here at the conference about AMP HTML ads, which are ads created entirely in AMP. I'm here with Heather Douglas, a software engineer who works with Google Web Designer. And what is Google Web Designer, and what are these AMP HTML ads?
So Google Web Designer is a tool for creating interactive animated HTML ads. And launching in March, we're adding support for AMP HTML ads.
So the advantages of AMP, which are no arbitrary JavaScript, faster layout and rendering and so on, all these accrue now to ads.
Yes. And Google Web Designer helps you create these without having to know the spec, because you can just visually create them using the tool.
And if I want to use this, how do I use it as an ad creator or developer?
So as an ad creator, you can download it from the Web Designer website. You get a workspace where you get visual editing capabilities so that you don't need to code at all. You just add images to your main stage work area, and then you can drag and drop to animate. There's tools for adding interactivity, again, all without having to know how to code.
So what is client ID and why is it important for AMP?
Client ID is how AMP identifies a user each time they enter an AMP page. So typically it takes the form of that cookie and it's labeled with AMP a bunch of letters and numbers, and all it does is identify you as a user and tracks your journey throughout the site.
You're saying adding a couple lines of code to your AMP page.
Yeah.
AMP doesn't allow JavaScript, so do you add what do you add to the AMP page to make this happen?
Yeah, so there's you actually need to add code to both your AMP and non-AMP sites, but it's a single line. It's available on ampproject.org, and it's right in the analytics documentation. Basically, you're saying use client ID, true. And it's really simple.
A child could do it.
Yeah, it's really simple. And going through those simple lines of code will solve 80% of your analytics problems.
Yes. Can programmers go to some resource to find out more about this that's a little more clear?
Certainly. And one piece of advice that I would give to other people that are struggling with this is get involved in the AMP community, submit an issue, submit a question. The AMP team and the community is very good at helping you understand these problems. I'm active on there as well. And so if you're having trouble, you're trying to do some of these custom dimensions, or you're trying to do this very unique thing, the solution is probably there. And if it's not, the AMP team is very anxiously engaged in getting it there.
All right, well, thanks a lot, Chris.
No problem.